Hello everyone. My name is Dhanshu Kumar and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about a different kind of inbuilt function which is available inside a string. So here if I'm going to write length of sum of the string, so for sure it is going to tell me that okay, so what is a total space which it is going to occupy, total number of the space you can say in this particular one. If there is a space in between, so yes, it is going to consider that as well, and accordingly it is going to tell you that okay, so this is the total space which it has occupied including a string. Now the next function which I can talk about over here is, let's suppose if I'm creating one string called as maybe like a INEURON, right? And then I would like to find something inside the string. So what I can do is I can try to call string.find, and then inside that, so I can try to mention there's like a kind of a character which I'm looking for. So maybe I'm looking for B. If I'll try to execute it, so by default it is going to give me -1. What is the meaning of it? So if Python compiler will not be able to find out this particular character inside my entire string, so in that case it is going to give me a -1, as simple as that. But let's suppose at the same point of a time, if I'm going to write a string and then find, and here if I'm going to write maybe like a capital N, so it will be able to find out. Let's suppose if I'm trying to write like a small n, yes, it will be able to find out. Let's suppose inside my string, right, so I can write maybe like a multiple n over here, and then if I'm going to execute, and then if I'm going to click on like a find, so in this case it is going to give me a very first occurrences of this n inside my string. So this is what happens, guys, in case of a find operation. So it is always going to return indexes of like a particular character which is going to occur in a very first place. For sure it is not going to give you like second occurrences or third occurrences. You will have to write your own custom function for that. But yes, for this particular use cases, if you're looking for just a very first occurrence of a particular character, yes, so you can try to use a find function. If it is not able to find anything, in that case you will be able to get a -1. Now let's suppose if I would like to know that how many number of n is available, so I can try to write in this way. So maybe like a count, so I can try to use maybe like a string.count operation, yeah. And then over here, so I would like to know that how many times n has appeared right inside my entire string. So as you can see, like all of these string functions are a case sensitive function, right? So if I'm trying to use like a capital N, or maybe if I'm trying to use like a small n, so this situation gets changed, right? So this is what like we all are able to find out, we all are able to figure out in this particular situation, in this particular environment. So count is always going to return you that number of occurrences of that particular character inside a string. Let's suppose inside my string, if I have a space and I would like to know that how many spaces are there, so it's completely fine. I have 3 space. Maybe I can try to increase a few more, a number of a space, and here you can clearly see that I have in total I have 11 number of a space. This is what a count is going to return. Let's suppose I wanted to know that okay, so what is a total number of x, although x is not available inside my string, but still I would like to check. So for sure it is not going to give you any kind of a error, it is going to give you a 0. Now guys, our next very interesting function that we are going to talk about over here is called as a split function. So here it's like you can say that there are many functions, more than 50 plus function you will be able to find out which is associated with a string. You are not supposed to do any kind of a coding for this one. What you can do is you can just try to call these functions and then your work are done, yeah. So now here I would like to split some of the string, right? So first of all, let us create one of the string, right? So let's suppose if I'm writing over here that my name is SUDH, right? My name is SUDH, and then what I will do is I would like to call SPLIT, right? SPLIT over here, and then I would like to split, or let's suppose I'm not giving any kind of a parameter. So what I can do is I can just try to call a string.split and then execute. So by default, right, so by default it is trying to split my entire string, as you can see, right? So here is my entire string. So it is trying to like split all of my entire string just with the help of what? With the help of space which is available in between. It will try to split. By default, I am not trying to pass any kind of a delimiter in this particular place, and this is how it is going to work. This is how it is going to behave. Now what I will do over here is, let's suppose I would like to split my entire data not based on the space. I would like to split my data maybe based on some other separator, some other kind of a delimiter. It could be any kind of a character. Let's suppose I would like to split my string based on n, right? So n, I wanted to split it. So yes, I will be able to split it. So here we have n. So whatever data we have before and whatever data we have after, so yes, it is going to give you those data in this particular place. This is how, guys, like a split is going to work. This split is going to behave. Let's suppose if I'm going to introduce, right? So let's suppose if I'm going to introduce maybe like some kind of a separate delimiter, right? Maybe at the rate I can try to mention, maybe I can try to mention at the rate over here and at the rate over here. Now if I would like to give at the rate, and based on at the rate, if I would like to separate, there won't be an issue, right? So it is going to separate the entire string, and yes, split always returns a list. So keep these things in mind. Split always returns a list, and many people makes this kind of a mistake. So many people don't know that, okay, so what is split, what kind of a data structure, what kind of a data type a split is going to return. So make sure and keep these things in mind, that split is always going to return you a list of the data, and you can try to perform a split operation based on any number of a delimiter. So now any kind, I will say, I'll not mention that any number, because number wise it is going to take only one delimiter at a time. Let's suppose if I would like to split based on NA, yes, I can mention it, right? But it will try to consider NA as a single separator or a single delimiter in this particular place. Okay, now moving next. So here, let's suppose if I have a string, right? And I have INEURON, and then I would like to call one function. So first of all, my requirement is to convert this particular string in a uppercase, right? So how I will be able to convert? So either I'll have to write my own function, or I can try to call an inbuilt function. So string dot upper and then execute, and here you can see that it is able to convert my string into a uppercases. Now, so the next function, similarly, similar to this uppercase, let's suppose I have some string s, and maybe like some letters are available in a small case, some letters are available like in a big, right? So here, if let's suppose I would like to like lower down all of those things, I can try to call this function. Yeah, so everything whatever is available in this particular string on a uppercase, so it will try to convert all of those things into a lower cases. This is what it will happen. Now there is another interesting function that is called as a that is called as swap case. So SWAP and then if I'll try to call swap case, so whatever data set is available in a uppercase, it will convert all of those data set into a lower cases, and whatever data set is available in a lower cases, it will try to convert each and every data sets into a uppercase. This is what it is going to do. This is what it is going to perform. Now, so let's suppose if I have a string over here, right? So if I have a string, and let's suppose string wise I am going to take my own name, right? And then if I'm going to write like a string or title, right? So it will try to convert this very first character into an uppercase. It will just we know that whenever we are going to write down a title, so in case of a title, it will always try to like convert this first letter, right, into uppercase, and this is what it is going to perform. So the first letter it is going to convert into an uppercase. It's very simple function, and it's an inbuilt function again, so you're not supposed to do anything except calling those functions over here, nothing else. Now the next function that you all will be able to find out is string s dot capitalize, which is almost equivalent to a title function, and it is going to perform a similar kind of a operation. Now, so let's suppose if I have a string, and if I would like to like reverse this string, SUDHANSHU, it's completely fine. And then I would like to reverse the string, so I can try to maybe write in this way as per our previous classes. This is something that we have already discussed, so please do revisit if you are not able to recall. So previous lecture. Now, so here I'm able to reverse this string. That is like a completely fine. But let's suppose if I would like to perform the same kind of operations with the help of some of the functions, so I can try to call this function rever std, and then inside that I can try to pass my string, and yes, it is going to do what it is going to return me. Right, so it is going to return me basically a reversed object. Now what I can do over here is, so I can try to call something like this. So maybe let's suppose if I would like to see the data, right? So in this case I can try to perform this operation. So string dot join, and then I can try to like mention these things, and here is like a reversed data that you all will be able to find out. So I'm just able to get the object from the reversed of the string, and then I'm trying to combine these things. I'm just trying to join these things with a predefined string, which is nothing but it's a blank in our case, and then this is what, and this is something that we all are able to get. Now, so let's talk about like different kind of operations again inside a string. So here again we have an interesting function, and we are going to create first of all one of our string sudhanshu, and then what I will do is, so I will try to call, right, so s.strip, so a strip function, right? Now if I'll try to execute, nothing has happened, right? Now what I will do is, so I would like to create some other space, and then you can see that it has removed the entire space. If I would like to print my string over here, so yes, this is how my string is going to be. But once after performing this strip operation, so the entire like a space has gone. Let's suppose if I'm going to create more space over here, right? So as you can see, I have a space in this place, I have a space in like a beginning as well as like a at the end. And if I'm going to execute a strip function, so yes, it is going to strip all the space which is available in between. Let's suppose I have a space in between, and yeah, so in this case for sure it is not going to work. So strip simply means that, so whatever space that we have before and after, it is going to remove the entire space, and it is going to give you a final string. There is a function called as lstrip and as well as writestrip. You will be able to find out. Lstrip simply means that, so whatever space that we have on a left hand side, on your left hand side of a string, so it will try to strip those data. And rstrip simply means that whatever space that we have in a right hand side direction, means after the string, so that it will be able to remove that particular space. As simple as that. So let's suppose if I'm going to call lstrip, right? So lstrip, and yeah, so you can just press tab and you will be able to get like a detail. And here, so I can try to just call it. So on the left hand side, right, on the left hand side, so whatever space that we had, so yes, it is able to remove these particular space, right? Now in the similar way, I can try to call rstrip, and here, so it will try to remove all the space that we have after, right? So whatever space, but yes, it is not removing the space which is available in between. Let me like remove it. Yeah, so this is what happens, guys, in case of a strip function, in case of a rstrip, in case of a lstrip. It's a very simple function, right, that you all will be able to get. Now, so here, let's suppose if I like if I would like to create one string s over here, and then you are saying that I would like to join like a ineuron. Yeah, now so here if I'm going to execute it, that is completely fine. So we have just created one single string, but the idea and objective over here is to perform this replace operation. So let's suppose if I wanted to replace 2, right, with maybe like a 2 or something else, right, maybe like a from, I would like to remove. So yes, I can try to perform this operation, and in this case it is going to remove, or it is going to replace this with what? So this one. This is what you will be able to achieve in case of a replace operation. So you all will be able to replace anything from a string by using this particular replace function. So this is how it is going to behave. Now there is another interesting function for a formatting inside like a string that you will be able to get. So here, let's suppose if I'm trying to call s dot, right? So s dot, and then if I'm going to call like a center function, and then let's suppose if I'm going to define, right, I'm going to define like a 50 space over here, and then I would like to like call b. Now what will happen, right? So here you will be able to find out that 50, which is nothing but it's a first argument, it's a first parameter, so it is going to reserve a 50 space. First of all, 50 space. Now, so whatever length of my data set is, let me like just use a small one, right? So here, what will happen over here is, so it is going to reserve first of all 50 space. It is going to put my string in a middle of this 50 space, and then rest of the space it is going to fill out with this data or this character that I've given over here. Let's suppose if I'm going to give a multiple character, in this case it is not going to work. And again, so many people gets confused over here. So it is going to accept only and only one single character at a time. It is not going to accept more than one character at any point of a time. So just try to like remember these things. Nothing else you have to do. It's a very simple and basic function that we are talking about as of now. So let's suppose I would like to remove these things with I would like to center. I would like to center these things, and then I wanted to keep like a u in a beginning and then u in a like a end. Yes, I can do that. So my data set is in a center position. This is what it means. Yeah, so now there is another different kind of a check function that you all will be able to get. So let's suppose if I would like to write like a SUDH, it's a very simple string, right? Now, so if I would like to check that whether this string S is available in a uppercase or not. So is upper is a function that you can see over here, right? And then I can try to check. It is going to return only true and false. It is going to return just a Boolean data. That's it. So I can try to like get these things that no, it's not available in a uppercase at all. Let's suppose if I would like to like mention SUDH in a uppercase. Now this time it's true, but before that it was not true. Now here, so if I try to like write another function, I'll just call is, and then maybe I can try to call lower. I would like to check that whether it's available in a lower case or not. Let me try to make some changes. So I would like to take some of the character in a like uppercase and lower case. No, it's not, right? So is lower again is going to fail. Now there is something called as a string dot is space, right? It's a little bit confusing function. So if I'll try to call it, it is going to call me like a false. Now here I'm trying to take a space. Now what will happen? Again it's a false. So here is a space always works well with only string which is having just a space. It is not having any other kind of a character, then only it is going to work well. Otherwise it is not going to work well. So it is like a is space, it is going to give you true or false accordingly. Now so next thing that we are going to talk about is like s dot is digits. So I would like to check that whether my string is having like a kind of a digit or not. So let me like take some digits, and then if I'll try to execute, now it's true, right? Now it's true. But let's suppose if I'm going to introduce some alphabetical character, right? Now it's going to be a false. So is digit always returns you true if there is a digit which is available, means there is a only digit which is available. In all the other cases it is going to give you a false. It's a very simple one. Now so let's suppose if I'm going to create like a string SUDH, right? SUDH 1 2 3 4, and then if I'm trying to check that s dot is alpha num, right? Is alpha, first of all let's try to check. So alpha simply means that whether my string is having just an alphabetic character, but no, I have a string which is having alphabetical as well as a numeric character, right? So in this case it is going to give me false. Let's suppose if I'm going to remove this numeric character, what will happen in this case? So in this case it is going to give me true because I just have an alphabetic character, right? So there is another function that you will be able to find out that is called as alpha num. Now so alpha num is going to give you like a true if my string is having alphabetical as well as numeric character. If I'm going to remove this one, even in this case it is going to give me true. So it will just check that either we have a alphabetical character or a numeric character. Either of these things are fine. So in this case, it is going to give you true. Let's suppose if I'm just going to replace these things with a numeric character, right? So yes, it is going to be true, right? So this is how like this entire things is going to work. Then s dot is, then I can try to check whether this string is a title or not. So by default, the string is not a title, but what I can do is, so maybe I can try to keep a very first letter, right, in a capital. And now, yes, it is a title, right? So it is a title that you will be able to find out. And this is how, again, this string is going to behave. There are other functions as well, right? So I can try to call like is alpha, is ASCII, is decimal, is digit, is identifier, is numeric, is printable, is space, right? So there are so many functions which you will be able to use to check that whether your string is specifying or string is satisfying this particular condition or not. But yes, all of these functions are like a very easy to use function. You can try to use it at any point of a time without rewriting it, right? And will make your life easier. So hope you have learned a lots of things from this particular video, guys. So if you have like this video, so yes, please do share, subscribe with your friends and families. Plus, so this entire code is available in this description box in a YouTube itself, right? So you can just feel free to download this code, feel free to go through this code, and then you can try to implement it. Don't try to do a copy and paste, just try to type. And this is the only way to learn any kind of a programming language. It's just a kind of a syntax. It's just sort of syntax. So more you will practice, more you will be able to learn. With that, thank you so much, guys, and see you again in our next video.